Thank you, Creator, for the opportunity to share, learn, grow, develop, evolve. And may we continue to be guided, gifted, and governed by Spirit. Oh, okay. Just want to make sure I'm sharing. Well, we're continuing to provide an understanding of Green Pastures AgriVillages Ashrams. And I'm Reverend Dr. Denise Elizabeth Hall. And we're still on pillar number 1, which is Mother Oceana. And water sustainable
table content.
some background. So we're just so happy to have you with us for Green Pastures AgriVillages Ashrams. Welcome. Karibu.
Thank you. Welcome.
And I just wanted to just briefly review what we spoke of previously. We shared the periodic table. And let's see here. I need to Zoom recording. There we go. Okay, welcome everybody. And I just wanted to briefly review what we spoke about previously, which has to do with the elements. Hello everyone. Karibu. The periodic table of elements.
Thank you.
And let me go back here a little bit. And I don't know if you're able to see this very well, but it's chinops we spoke of: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. These are the 6 elements of which most biology is created. Yeah. And this is the periodic table of elements, all the elements known in nature to humankind. And you see there's still some blanks here, so there's still a few yet to be discovered. In our last visit, we spoke about the structure of water, the significance of water in Mother Oceana, and I shared with you the various properties of water and how significant it is to our lives and one another. All living beings are mostly made of water. And here is a love crystal, and here is water that does not crystallize, and based on what someone said. And so we know there's many scriptures that back this up. This is just a visual representation of what happens to water on a cellular level, on a molecular level, when we speak ill. And so I just wanted to show you this is contaminated water, and then after a prayer it formed a crystal. So I just wanted to emphasize how important it is to speak love, to speak beauty, to speak joy, and to say thank you. There's a thank you crystal. There's a peace crystal. And then we also visited the various, what's called a water cycle, and the various types of water that formulates throughout the planet. And it's also called the hydrological cycle there. And simply, if you say water cycle, most people will understand what you mean, all these various stages of water. So what we didn't really get to last time, let's see if I can uh, make this bigger for you. Um, are 4 methods of irrigation, and there's the surface. This is called surface irrigation, and you can see the water is here and it drains down these various canals, but the water is exposed, and the downfall of this is that, especially in areas that are high heat, drought, this is very inefficient. It's not very sustainable because the water can what? Evaporate, especially in areas that have low rainfall um, and high temperatures. The water easily evaporates. This is not an effective, sustainable system. And then here, very commercial irrigation uses sprinklers. And as you can see, the water is spraying out. Again, this is very unsustainable. The water evaporates. It's very wasteful. Both these systems are very wasteful. And then the next one is called a drip or trickle. You can see where there are hoses here that brings the water to the plant directly. This is more efficient and effective, this type of watering irrigation system. And then here is what's called subsurface. And you can see, you can notice here that instead of the tube being above the ground and dripping directly on the plant, this is below the surface. So these tubes, these pipes, however you want to call them, they're buried. This is the most efficient system. And water will come through these hoses, and there's little holes in here, and there's a little hole here, there's a hole here. The water comes through these hoses and provides nutrient to the plant. This is the most efficient system. This is the most efficient for soil growing of plants. The challenge with this system is a lot of preparation. So again, this is the most efficient system. And this is for growing plants in the soil. And all right. And I appreciate everyone submitting their information about the sources that you use around you and in your agribusiness. We're going to delve into this more later. I just wanted to review that with you, and also how you're applying your water in your agribusiness. This is very important as well. Pardon. This is very important as well because we really want to be as efficient as we can. And so if you're using soil, it does take more preparation to do what's called the subsurface irrigation. And ultimately, though, you will be conserving water, and it's the most sustainable water system. And for people who are going to be using this type of subsurface watering, it's really great to have a water that's capture tank, and with the gravity flow, you can easily create a subsurface watering system that will feed your plants. And we've already seen these two videos, so let's move on. So the one I wanted to speak of today, we're still in the first pillar. We're going to move into the sustainable agriculture. And maybe I want to say animal production systems. So the first one I wanted to mention is the one I am actively involved with, and that is aquaponics. Aquaponics is a system of agriculture in which the waste produced by the farmed fish or other aquatic animals supplies nutrients for the plants that are grown hydroponically. I have a visual for you, and that in turn purifies the water. And it's a circulating system. So let's go to this visual here. This is aquaponics. This is a system that is, I would say, this is 21st century sustainable agriculture. We don't use soil because we're doing hydroponics. Hydro means water, and the ponics is growing. And this one happens to be aquaponics. And so what happens is we have fish that are growing in the water. The fish produce waste. They excrete what's called ammonia, their waste product, into the water. And with the assistance of microbes and worms that are in the plant beds, that feeds the plants. And here are your plants here that are growing. This is the whole cycle. And then through the root system of the plants filter the water, and then that water returns back to the fish filtered. And so this is a cyclical way and the most efficient way where we can grow our vegetables, our plants, our herbs. So I wanted to share that with you because currently, well, we use tilapia. This is the species of fish, tilapia, and we call it aquaponics. And currently, I am the veterinarian for a farm. It's a sustainable agriculture research, supposed to be facility, and aquaponics farm. Oh, I can't spell. Let's get this spelling correct. Facility and aquaponics farm. So I want to take you to the website if I can find it here. There it is. Future Foods Farms. And if you go to futurefoodsfarms.com, you can see it. This is a gentleman who is a chef, and we're inside this greenhouse. So let's listen. I have a couple videos I want to share with you. So let's listen in.
We have RevDocD live in Brea. And you know what, Mar? You always do something that has to do with food. So by the time your report is done, I am so hungry.
Well, this is special food, too. It's organic. It's the way to go now.
That's right, you guys. You know what? It's the future of farming. That's why it's called Future Foods Farm. And I have with me, this is chef, farmer, and owner. This is Adam Navidi. Hey, Adam, good morning.
Hi, Mar.
Hey, so tell me a little bit about the system that you have here, because this is really unusual. Everything is above ground. You're not using, traditional farming techniques at all.
That's correct. Yes, we are growing above ground here on tables. We have water that's recirculating. We have tilapia fish ponds where the water comes from the fish ponds and recirculates on these above ground tables.
So what are some of the things that you're growing that we're looking at? Like this is what?
Yeah, these are micro beets here that we're growing. These are beets, and then we have arugula. There's kale, red amaranth. Lots of different colors.
All kinds of stuff. Now, I want to show you guys this. Now, this might not look like much, but this is these are just discarded styrofoam. This stuff would have ended up in the landfill, right?
That's
and this is something that you've patented. Tell me about that.
Yes, these are some. I was looking for an insulated box to produce the water, and we were getting these every day in the restaurants.
And you're actually growing all this stuff there. Look at those roots. So lots of very cool stuff. And you mentioned that you use fish, use the tilapia and the veggies. It's called Aquaponics. And you guys, when we come back, we're going to take you inside the fish farm and show you what it really is all about. We'll send it back to you, Tony and Jean.
All right, sounds good, Mar. Thanks.
When we come back, we're talking a little bit about eggs and food and healthy food. When we come back, we're going to show you something that may well be the food of the future. And they're alive right after this. Here we go, Mar. RevDocD is at the Future Foods Farm in Brea. We got words like aquaponic, hydroponic, and whatever else you're going to teach us. Good morning to you, Mar.
Good morning, Steve. It is all ponic. This is truly the future of farming. I'm so excited. I'm here with chef, farmer, and owner Adam Navidi. Now, we're feeding these tilapia. Now, these fish, Adam, this is where it all starts. What are they doing? What's their role?
Yeah, the fish provide all the nutrients to feed the plants hydroponically. In these beds up here, we have 8 beds. All the water's coming from the fish ponds here to feed these plants every 2 hours or so, and then we go into deep water beds. In this bed here, we're growing San Marzano tomatoes, so we're trying to replicate what they do in Italy on the side of a volcano. So we have organic shale and volcanic rock here. These tomatoes are growing in the bed.
So you can really do this anywhere. That's kind of like your whole message to people, is that you can do this kind of farming anywhere. Because we are in, just so you guys know, we're in just one of the greenhouses. You have about how many here right now?
Yeah, we have 10 greenhouses here in Brea.
Yeah, in the middle of, these fields, and there really is nothing going on, and that's why it's the future of farming, because we've pretty much used up all the soil, or we've ruined it, and now we're doing it above ground. And you were saying it's actually easier on your back. You don't have to do all that crazy,
Yeah, it's easier on your back. You don't have the weeds to deal with. Everything's at waist height.
So what are some of the things that you're growing here? What's this?
Yeah, we're growing Italian parsley over here. We got some haricot vert green beans there, some strawberries.
Check out these zucchini blossoms. I love these. This is one of my favorite. We see this at the farmer's market. Now, in this greenhouse alone, he is growing about 1,000 heads of lettuce.
About 1,000 heads of lettuce and about 40 pounds of produce a week.
Yeah, and it goes to farmers markets and all the high-end restaurants in Orange County. All right, guys, when we come back, they're doing these really special tours and tastings.
Got it. Thank you so much.
All right, RevDocD is at the Future Foods Farm in Brea. It is one of the largest aquaponic farms in the state, which basically means what, Mar?
It means that they use fish to feed the plants. The plants then clear the water, and then the water recirculates back to the fish. So it really is this sustainable system. And what I love about it, it really is a future of farming, because you can be in the middle of a drought, you can be in the middle of the desert, you can be in the middle of fields like we are here in Brea, and it requires almost no water. See this head of lettuce? Traditional farming takes about 15 gallons of water just to produce this. Here at this farm with Chef Adam Navidi, I want you to come over here. less than a gallon per lettuce set. So that really what your message is all about, right, Adam?
Definitely, water conservation is huge right now.
Yeah. So you just want to let people know that you can do this wherever you are, on
Yeah,
a rooftop, at a building.
Yeah, we've done it everywhere. We've done it on rooftops. We're doing it out here in the middle of the desert, pretty much. It's Southern California.
Yeah.
And
so really, really cool. Now, what you're doing here too that I really love is that you're doing tours and tastings. So you guys, everybody can come Saturday night, this Saturday, and every Saturday. You're doing these farm to table tastings. What are we looking at here? This is so gorgeous.
yeah, this is our Future Foods Farms pot of it's like a crudité with all the baby vegetables, all of our microgreens, all of our edible flowers.
This is dehydrated olives, by the way. That makes it look like the soil.
That's called our humic hummus that we put in there, and then we have dehydrated olives as a soil.
And then check this out. What is that?
And this is wild salmon right here on top of a raw tomato sauce with basil oil, micro basil, and a ratatouille, oven roasted ratatouille.
And these are all the veggies that you grow here on the property, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so again, super local, all organic, no chemicals, everything's above ground. And if you want to come visit this awesome farm and come to the dinner, go to futurefoodsfarms.com. I'm loving this place. Thank you, Adam, for giving us a look around.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you guys, thank you so much, Mar and Adam.
Okay, so that's where I currently, here's another look at a type of a system. Whoops.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can.
Oh, I guess it's not taking me there. I just want you to
This
see.
sentence is grammatical.
I'm gonna skip the ads. But this is a type of, whoops. I just want you to see these structures. So this one, what we call hoop house or greenhouse, can actually feed a village. You can see all these beds of vegetables, greens. Here are the tanks that have the fish. And actually this is this is not Future Foods Farms, this is another farm, but the concept is really the same. This is a little more intricate. I have another video to show you. You can see the way and the layout of this aquaponics system. It is the 21st century way of growing to feed your community, your family, your neighborhood, your village. So I just wanted you to see some of this. And let me get you to another video here. Let me go over here. So here's Chef Navidi again.
The Earth is a water planet, but global water resources are under attack.
This is another feature of Future Foods Farms. I just wanted you to see this. I go every day, so I just wanted you to see this. It's a short video.
From dead zones to acidic oceans, vanishing groundwater to rerouted rivers, our water planet is changing in ways that threaten us all. The good news is, solutions exist, and Earth Echo is on an adventure to find them. I'm Philippe Cousteau. Join me as we explore how the most precious resource on Earth is driving some of the most exciting innovations in engineering on Earth Echo expeditions, Water by Design. As we examine water scarcity and drought, many solutions are being proposed by the people and companies that provide water. But what about the solutions proposed by those of us who are end users of water?
So this is Future Food Farms. You see, these are what we call hoop houses. These are greenhouses. There are about, I would say, maybe 350 kilometers, not kilometers, meters in length, and the width is usually, I want to say, 30 feet, so maybe about 40 meters in width. And here are the 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these plants growing out here are rosemary, and that helps keep some of the pests. I know pests are an issue. Rosemary, this is rosemary, helps keep some of the pests away. Let's keep looking.
Water. Intensive agriculture in California is responsible for 80% of water use.
These are vertical growing systems, and this is basil. You can grow basil, the water, you see these pipes here, the water is coming through and feeding these plants, and the water is recycling, so that's why it's very efficient. You don't have to keep bringing so much water into the system because it's recirculating. Okay.
So my wife Ashlyn and I set out to meet executive chef and farmer Adam Navidi.
This is Chef Navidi. He is very popular here. He's a local celebrity. He has his own restaurant, and he grows his own food, and that goes to the restaurant. He was Chef of the Year in 2018. We're very proud of him.
Who's conserving water one head of lettuce at a time.
So Adam, this place is really impressive, but I want to kind of back up to the bigger picture a little bit about agriculture in general and water use here in Southern California. Why is innovation in a system like this so important?
Well, like you said, in California here, we hit with the drought issues and everything happening. This is the most efficient farming method, uses the least amount of water. In this greenhouse, we're growing tomatoes and kale and chard, but we grow a lot of lettuce as well. And just lettuce alone, grown in soil, conventional farming, uses 10 to 15 gallons of water per head of lettuce. We're using
one
1
head.
gallon. Yeah.
10 to 15 gallons for one head of
For
lettuce.
1 head of lettuce, and here we do it with 1 gallon of water. So it's very, very efficient. To have to only add a little bit of water when it's needed.
And what inspired you to do this?
Mostly for me, as being a chef, I wanted to be able to grow my own produce in a clean, healthy, and sustainable way. And this is what I found was the best way of doing it.
Can you speak to a little bit of some of the challenges that the big agricultural, traditional styles of farming, some of the water issues around that they're facing?
There's a nursery, their water bill is about $6,000 a month or so. Ours is about $160, so $75 just goes to pay for the meter. So we actually use less than $100 worth of water out here a month. And we can do anywhere from 30,000 to 40,000 heads of lettuce a month, and tomatoes and cucumbers and everything else. So it's great. I mean, to think that we use less water than we do at my own house, people taking showers and drinking water there, is very, very efficient. Yeah.
Incredible.
Can you explain the system to us? So it's a closed system, correct?
Yes.
How does it start and how does it end?
Well, it starts with the fish. So the fish are downstream. They're always at the big pond at the bottom. They're the ones creating all the nutrients that are feeding the plants. The water's pumped up from there with the heavy waste from the fish. Goes into some biofiltration systems, filters out some of the heavy solids. The remaining nutrient-rich water is going to the plants. The plants are filtering that, absorbing that, the ammonia and the nutrients the fish are producing as nitrogen. Plants grow from it. They're cleaning, filtering the water returns back to the fish pond. So it's a little ecosystem. Yeah.
This is a fully closed loop system.
Yes, sir.
When people see hydroponic tomatoes in their supermarket, how is this different?
Well, hydroponics, they got to use synthetic nutrients in order to grow the plants. So they're mining those nutrients from different parts of the world, and they have to take and they have to synthesize the nutrient to make it to where it's stable. When they put it in the system, hydroponics is more about no bacterium, right? They can run some of the lettuce growers and other people that run bleach through a system and kill any bacterium because they want it very sterile. Where here, we want the good bacterium in the system to convert that ammonia into nutrients for the plants. So we would never put bleach in a system like this because we're just wasting all the work. And all the time, the bacterium to colonize is done. So, yeah.
And not only do you get amazing vegetables, but you also get really healthy fish.
Yeah, yep, that's the plus side.
So why don't people do more of this?
Well, I think it's people are starting to get into it more and more now, and I think people are a little bit afraid of it because there's, and I can understand that because you got living fish in the system. Where hydroponics, you don't really have the fish, so something happens, a pipe breaks or whatever, they just fill the pond back up, add more nutrients, fix the pipe, start all over. Here, you have fish, so a pipe breaks and you lose all the water, you lose all the fish too. Those are all your workers, that's all your nutrients, so you have to start the system all over again.
But the fish is also part of the economic benefit here, that those fish are consumed.
That's correct.
So tell me a little bit about that system. So you're not just growing fruits and vegetables here, you're also growing fish.
Yeah. Yeah, we produce about 20,000 tilapias.
So I did want to say that tilapia are from Africa, and many of the tilapia that we grow are Mozambican tilapia. And so it's so important to realize that Africa, we're basically borrowing. These systems are actually, it's a 21st century version of something that was done in many ancient cultures throughout the world. This is just a 21st century version of growing fish. So we're using our technology of the 21st century, and we're using an understanding of fish farming that is very efficient. And I'm going to say more about this when we finish this video.
We have out here at the farm, we just harvested 400 pounds this morning as well.
What is your favorite part of this story, of this system?
Favorite part of the story of the system is, it's about, learning, really. For me, I like the educational part of it. I like being able to experiment, and same with cooking. There's 100 different recipes on how to make a chocolate chip cookie, but unless you make those 100 recipes, you don't know which one you actually like or which one's the best. So for us, we had to do that. We kind of had to go through, we try different things out. We have to chew on a system like this is a new system. It took me 3 or 4 months before I pulled the trigger and went, okay, I got this, put it all together, and let's do it. Let's build it. Let's spend the next week building the system.
So every day at work is like a giant experiment for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Aquaponics is certainly an innovative approach to agriculture. Not only does this process not use any chemicals like pesticides, it's also a closed system with nearly zero waste, and it's water efficient. Even more inspiring is that this idea is so accessible that a small system could easily be set up at a home or in a classroom. The whole ecosystem of the farm shows that by using nature as our guide, we can conserve water and still have delicious and nutritious food to enjoy. To learn more about freshwater resources and find ways to take action in your own community, visit Earth Echo International at www.earthecho.org.
Okay. So I hope you are able to appreciate how we at Future Foods Farms, how we manage the water, and water being our most precious resource, very little waste, and so that's the whole point of it, is to be able to feed ourselves. We become self-reliant, self-sufficient. There are no chemicals in this system. If there were chemicals in the system, it would harm the fish. And so there are no chemicals used. We actually have to, because the water that's coming in has chlorine, we do use various filters to filter out the chlorine. And we also, there's other, I would say, implements that we use to keep the system running. I'm presenting a very simplified version of what goes on. We've got the pipes and the pumps. We have to oxygenate the water. We need to check various elements in the water. Because of heat, we may get more algae, and there's a balance we need to maintain. So it does need to be monitored, but in contrast, I'll say period, Yet in contrast to traditional soil growing methods, this is the most efficient, effective food production system available in the 21st century. And I've already shared some of this with Reverend Alice, and I will say we actually are developing a model that will be applicable to villages in Kisi, villages throughout the planet, at a very inexpensive cost ratio. It could be done anywhere, and one hoop house, like I said, could probably feed a village. So I want to, and let's see, there's one more video I wanted to show, and then I'll open it up. Maybe
My name's Ben Jane. I'm the farm manager at Flourish Farms, Colorado Aquaponics. We're at the grow house, and we rent a space from the grow house. It's 3,000 square feet. Aquaponics is the combination of aquaculture, or fish farming, and hydroponics, or growing plants without soil. Like traditional hydroponics, the water has nutrients added from the fish waste. Unlike hydroponics, it is fish waste rather than chemical fertilizers. Some of the crops that we might use in aquaponics would be leafy greens. They do very well because the nutrient profile in an aquaponics system is high in nitrogen and lower in phosphorus, or the nutrients that you would need for growing fruiting and flowering crops. In our system, we use tilapia and koi. Tilapia are very popular as an aquaponics fish because they are freshwater and they are actually very resilient. They'll tolerate a lot of different water quality conditions that other species might not tolerate. The water comes from the fish tank, is pumped up into the media bed, fills up, and then there's a bell siphon here, at which point when the water reaches the top of the siphon, then it automatically drains back out into the fish tank. The idea here is that the water is soiled by the fish waste and then brought up to the plant roots that then subsequently clean the water. Clean water is then returned to the fish tank. This system is something that you would be able to fit on a patio or a backyard, maybe a small greenhouse. It's only about a 100-gallon system, about 12 square feet of growing area. And you can see we're really not very densely planted. We could plant a lot more crops in this space. Herbs, leafy greens, anything that you'd want. A lot of people will even do small peppers or tomato plants if they have the space. But any vessel of water, in fact, any aquarium is really half of an aquaponics system. All you need to do is somehow get that aquarium water to the plant roots and you have aquaponics. We have an example of a system that utilizes a 10-gallon fish tank. There's about 5 small hybrid striped bass in that tank, and the grow bed on top of it is really nothing more than a dish pan, something that you dry or wash your dishes in. Some of the more expensive items in setting up like that would be things like the pump or water filter. In fact, in some cases, even the fish tank itself. On the other hand, they can be as big as you really want them to be. Our farm is 11,000 gallons of water. 1,500 gallons of that is fish tank space, and all the rest of it is cultivated plants.
Pardon. So here it's showing the cycle again. This is just another way of saying the same thing. And here are the fish, they excrete their waste, and there are bacteria that convert that waste into nutrients for the plants, and the roots of the plants actually filter the water that's recycled back to the fish. I hope that's clear for you. Okay, so this is, whoops. So aquaponics is one of the 5 animal production systems that Green Pastures AgriVillages Ashrams promote. And so through Mother Earth Reverence Farms and Ministries, we hope to provide and be a conduit for agripreneurs, agribusiness, such that you can set this up for yourself in your locations anywhere in the world. And it's very efficient and effective, as I have previously stated. So I want you to unmute. I've unmuted folks because I really to impress upon you the significance of the various types of ways we can conserve water, and then using this type of system, expanding your mindset, and that we can come together and establish this type of system if that's something you wish to do yourself. And so the way we capture water and how we use the water, this is so very important. Amen.
Amen.
Do we have any? I see some folks have dropped off. Do you have any questions?
I think no. I congratulate you for the good teachings about agricultural. But Beatrice went off because of Pandros, but others who have been listening. It's a wonderful lesson. Yeah, it's very wonderful. It's a new method here in Africa.
Yes. And we have people here.
Yeah, it's a new system. It is a new system here in Africa.
Well, it's both new and old. Like I said, it's an ancient method of raising fish, and we're using the 21st century technology. And honestly, it's relatively inexpensive. Of course, on the front end, you've got to set it up. But once you have it set up, then it is very easy to maintain, and it's very sustainable. And
sure, it is a new technology in Africa because we don't grow fish.
Right.
So we want you to set an example here in Africa. So when you will come to
yeah, I would like to set one up so we can see how it works. And
when you will come 2021, be prepared. So we make some. Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, you come. So we said the new technology in Sengera, so Kisi, so people will learn because,
And one of the questions
they were very much happy. They are very much happy to see the new technology about organic farming. Green pastures.
And one of the concerns
they have never had. You are the first ready to teach them.
Oh, thank you. So,
Thank you very much.
yeah, so I just wanted to address a question that was brought up about pests. And for the most part, we don't have many pests with this system, although we do have ants, and the ants like to seek the water, and I would say field mice. But as far as some of like the worms that you were or someone was mentioning, we don't have them. The other pests we have aphids, aphids and ants. So aphids, yeah. And I will
Okay.
be sharing next week. Well, there's 4 other systems that I will be reviewing this in these coming weeks. So beekeeping, apiculture. Next week I will talk poultry, layers, poultry production, and
Wow.
yeah,
Expanding.
poultry,
Good.
poultry because many Kenyans are growing poultry for eggs,
Wait.
which is great protein, and so we have bees, worms, red worms. I really want to share with you. So there's 5. There's aquaponics, there's beekeeping, poultry, worms, and then goats.
Wow.
I'll save the goats for last. I'll save the best for last.
Our project.
Yeah, so I want people to see these are the animal production systems that are being promoted and recommended by Mother Earth Reverence Farms and Ministries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
you're welcome. I just want to end in a prayer that we be forever in covenant with one another and showing love, appreciation, abundance, prosperity, and plenitude. And we just want to thank the Creator for the opportunity to share, communicate, learn, grow, develop, evolve with one another, and making the pathway clear such that we can nourish and flourish together. And
Amen.
Amen. May we continue to be guided, gifted, and governed by Spirit, and so it is. Ashe, Shalom, Amen. Thank you. Thank you.